What I want to talk about right now is like, remember how I made a video last time? Well, you might not know, you might have not watched it, but I made a video about this exact topic, to be honest with you, which was that how do you use your creativity? Is that how do you use your creativity of your mind to come up with your own unique idea? No, this is the infamous, notorious, whatever big word you can think of, pretty much, which means infamous anyway. Which means infamous. All of them mean infamous anyway. Is how to learn how to draw, how to learn how to come up with your own ideas for drawing. Now this is something I think that is a very hard thing to come up with. Well, I wouldn't say hard, but it's more of a matter of it takes time. To be honest with you, it's like any skill. You can't really judge it and say that it's hard because you did it one day and you didn't do good at it. It's something you just get used to. Now, now to continue on with what I was saying before about this, about learning how to come with your own creative ideas. I know I've posted a video before that's kind of similar to this idea. You have to pause for a second. I've created a video before that's kind of similar to this idea, but what you're going to have to realize about learning how to make, learning how to, but like I said before, this is similar to the video I made about learning how to make music. But in this way, it's learning how to draw, come up with your own creative ideas when drawing. Now, to come with your own unique ideas when it comes to drawing, or what I mean by unique, I mean your own individual ideas, not ripping off someone else, not ripping off someone else's idea. I think in general, to answer that question, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to focus, is you're gonna have to uh pay attention to a lot of the things you like to draw, because you have to realize you cannot draw anything that is going to look really good in the 21st century without having some degree of influence from some other place. Okay, so what I suggest you do when you do this, the first and most important point when you're learning how to draw and coming up with your own ideas is that you have to understand, you have to have fun doing this. And how to have fun is having a more, people might say, how do you have fun doing that? But that's a good question. But that's more of a question of just doing something you're actually interested in, something that in general you have a more of a laid back mentality. Not necessarily laid back, but more like a mentality where you don't, where you're not stressed out to get you, where you just, yeah, I guess you could say a laid back mentality, just a more open minded mentality. Just, it's hard to explain it. I might explain it in a later video, but just to explain it a lot better when it comes to learning how to do this, and I guess, and I can tell you in another way how to have fun when it comes to this issue, is that you want to use your creativity. Now, when you want to learn how to draw, to be honest with you, and come up with your own creative ideas, just like I said, is that you have to, is that it's best that you don't start drawing your own ideas, not unless not unless you want to use up a lot of paper ink, because from what I know, drawing is very, 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 can be very difficult if you don't have the right techniques. Now, I think the thing that you're gonna have to realize, um, now the thing you're gonna have to realize about art in general, to be honest with you, is that the thing you're gonna have to realize about art in general is that when you're coming up with your own unique ideas, the best thing to do is not to write it down. Um, Write it down on a piece of paper. The best thing to do is to do it the best, cheapest, and freest way, which is to actually think about what you want to draw. Now, what are the things that actually interest you about drawing? To be honest, what are things that you would define as you and your own style? To be honest, because I think honestly, people can form their own styles, more easily than you would imagine, because your style is pretty much just consists of something you just kind of just the way you kind of just like things to be. So I don't think it's as hard as a lot of people say it is. It's just a matter of enjoying yourself, and that's what the main focus of this video is going to be. Is how to enjoy yourself doing it. Now, how would I think you enjoy yourself doing it? Is I would suggest you go on your smartphone, look up the images of the things you want to draw. Like, for example, maybe you want to learn how to draw a futuristic suit of armor, and you just look at images and constantly look at images of it and gather influence. To be honest with you, now when you look at the images, if you actually like the image, to be honest with you, you have to pause this again. Now, if you actually like the image, to be honest with you, you're probably going to notice it has some certain characteristics you like. To be honest with you, it's going to have some certain characteristics for your drawing that you like. To be honest with you, certain characteristics you like for it. Like, you might like the way that it's designed in a certain way, like the futuristic suit of armor. I'm using futuristic suit of armor as an example because that's what interests me personally. Um, you might find you might like the coloring, you might like the way it's shaped, and you look at a lot of different things. And when you look at a lot of those different things, you start to think about start thinking about your own thing. And one thing that's definitely the truth about it when it comes to art is that there has to be a story behind it if you're gonna come up with your own art idea. Like in this case, for a suit of armor, you have to come up with your own story, like your own situation. What would it be useful for? And I think my video I posted before about coming up with a situation would be helpful for this. Would be helpful for this. What would it be useful for? And once you think, maybe just take, like, for example, 10 minutes each day and just think about what would be the coolest looking design for you. Based off of all the designs you've seen, you might have gathered influence from Roman designs, you might have gathered influence from Japanese armor designs, and you just think about all of them together, and you might, who knows, maybe come up with your own armor design that nobody's ever thought of before. It's actually pretty sick. And of course, later on, you have to get to the technical parts, like how would you draw the shapes to draw, to help you actually draw it in real life. But that's not the topic of this video. Um, so just look at as many things as possible. As when you look at as many things as possible, it makes it a lot more likely you'll have fun doing it. And you could think about several different designs you want to think of in your head. You know, um, Several different designs you want to think of in your head. To be honest with you. To be honest with you. And I think it would be fun because it's just, in a sense, to be honest with you, it's just like thinking, if you're a visual person, a very visual person, it would make sense to just like thinking about, well, things that you like to think about. What I'd recommend, like daydreaming, which I don't know about that, but well, I made a video once about that before, but it's kind of like that, but you're actually doing something that can actually be productive for you. So what I'd recommend is that you maybe spend at least, now definitely you should look at other channels and get influence from them, because I'm not an expert on this, I do acknowledge that. But what you would probably do is you just look at the different images of stuff, and once you look at the different images of stuff, you'd start thinking about all the things that you like, all the features you like for this, how it could be better in this way, how it could be better in this way, and come up with your own unique ideas for what you wanted to draw. And And what I recommend is that you just try to just be you and have fun doing it, and just visualize in your head the different images and stuff you can think of to be honest with you, and gradually you'll just improve at it. Just like listening to making music in your head, making music in your head. You'll just think of visual images and you'll just keep on improving and improving and improving. So that's really all it really is. It's just a matter of just thinking a lot, and just in general over time you just gradually improve. To be honest with you, it doesn't just have to be for pseudo armor. It could be for anything that you want to draw. So that's how to make your own unique designs, and that's all I have to say. And subscribe to this video for more content.